The construction industry's role in fueling climate change has been talked about at great length. While many solutions have been presented and ultimately adopted, this session takes a completely different approach to address this serious issue. It highlights traditional knowledge and past sustainable building practices. To know more about building green futures by drawing from our past, I'd like to call onto the stage Mr. Alexander Hoffman, partner of Advanced Engineering Consultants LLC. And the topic is Building Green Futures, What We Can Learn from the Past.
Being an Eagle Scout and being a Florida man with a Louisiana coon-ass background, I'm qualified to discuss building green futures, learning from our past, to all of you. Who here is a land developer of undeveloped parcels? So we have a few in the crowd. Additionally, who here is develops and redevelops existing sites? All right, we have a lot more of those. Well, as world leaders in the real estate industry, it's our obligation to build these greener futures from what we can learn from our past, mistakes and successes. What we can learn from our past is that the environment is very, very delicate, and if we don't protect our environments, we may not be protecting our economy. The worst environmental crisis that we had, or actually economical crisis, was after the 1930s. And this was led up to by the Dust Bowl. And the Dust Bowl took place by processes of development and farming that didn't treat the soil properly or take into account soil's tests. And these things led to the Great Depression, which, if you don't take care of your environment, it could hurt you and decrease the economy's well-being. So there's a lot that we can learn from our past. And we have to navigate our way through this very hectic process. As you can see here, there's a lot of obstacles. A lot of them. And you really need somebody that is an expert in what they're doing and understands the full process, because there is a lot of different options that you can take, and every development is unique. So the planning and design is extremely important, and what you can see here is you need to make cohesion between your community and your environment to then create well-being for both major key instances that we have to take into consideration in the planning and design phase of these developments. Some other keys that are very important is the transportation. Transportation is huge, and it's how we get from point A to point B. And in the United States of America, well-being can be improved greatly by changing the transportation methods that we take on a daily basis. Additionally, the well-being of the public is extremely important, and bringing cohesion in local neighborhoods through public space is very important to create this cohesion in the neighborhood. And through buildings, we can reduce our footprint and impact on the environment if we do it the correct way. And with these three elements, we can live with the environment and reduce our impact. As you can see here in the transportation, single-family homes generate more trips than the multifamily units. Now, this is one dwelling unit versus another dwelling unit. A single-family home has more people typically living in that unit, thus higher trip numbers. And our roadways are creating the most greenhouse gases, and we want to reduce this. And I think that some people are dreaming towards going to other planets, and that is great, but we do need to focus on the one planet we do have in order to create and preserve this planet. And we can do this by reducing the number of trips, reducing the greenhouse gas emissions from our roadways. In the public space, in the landscape, we can create greener futures by implementing our transportation systems to promote healthier forms of transportation through walking and cycling. And by doing this, we can live with the environment if we landscape these spaces properly. In doing this, we can also have parks, recreational areas, and plazas through the path of travel, which, with the landscaping, we can reduce the temperature in high humidity and climate zones, just like Florida, and provide sound buffering to the environment beyond our roadways and the residences. As you can see here, the placement of the landscaping is extremely important. This is actually USF's campus. That's University of South Florida in Tampa. They've done a great job of this, placing oak trees in select locations. Oak trees are great for absorbing the greenhouse gases, or CO2, and the placement of these is very important. Because not only do we want to create greener futures for our environment, but as developers, we want to create a greener wallet and bank account. So placing oak trees in the front of our commercial spaces is going to reduce the visibility to your site and not drive as much traffic to your location. And additionally, the oak trees can ruin the infrastructure with its massive root systems. Palm trees in Florida don't absorb the O2 as much as oak trees, but they're great for visibility and looks. So having a great landscaping plan can actually help your development greatly and help the environment if things are placed in the exact location.